You know, I should probably rework my resume because it's like 6 pages long and I kind of exaggerated on a few things, if you know what I mean.
I'm pretty sure your boss is watching, Steve, so you're definitely going to have to rework that.
Yeah, he probably is.
By the way, did I mention that I eat lobster for lunch?
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's great. So coming up later in the show, we have an amazing performance by Normad, so we hope you'll stick around for that. But next, we have a really special story about one of the professors who teaches here in the Broadcasting and Film program at Centennial College. Sheldon Reisler has worked in television across Canada and brings his diverse experience to the classroom every day.
Born July 23, 1951, in one of the most beautiful cities in Canada, Sheldon Reisler was raised in Montreal, Quebec, where he attended post-secondary classes at both McGill and Concordia University, starting off in the study of biology and social change, which would eventually lead Sheld to his first production, which sparked his interest in television.
This particular course had an extension to it where if you wanted to, you could do a television show about it. And this beautiful new television production facility designed by the CBC and you know, put into the building at Concordia where I went to school was for me really attracted my attention. I loved playing with all the toys. I just loved the lights and the lighting and the studio and the cameras and the control room and the switcher and the sounds that you could use to enhance your story or to enhance your production. At the time, I'm not sure I was thinking so much in terms of story at that time, but production was really neat. So I was producing and I was directing, and the first time I remember the first show that I did was actually supposed to be a half-hour production called The Frail Ocean. It lasted 19 minutes, and it went terribly.
After completing his studies, Shell discovered his first real job in the media through looking in the newspaper and finding a posting for a media specialist at a local community center in Vancouver, BC.
I was making $106.50 a week, and my job was to engage the people who went to that place in media. So who are the people who went to that place? There were old folks like seniors who were part of a seniors program. And there were young kids, anywhere from the age of 5 to 12, who were part of kind of like a latchkey program, like an after-school program, because, you know, we're talking about, you know, either single-income families here because of single mothers, or double-income families that were just scraping by, but mom and dad both had to work, and so they had to, they had to drop their kids somewhere after school. So that was my audience. That was my audience, is the very young and the very old.
By the late 80s, Shell began to feel as if he needed something different and felt as though he was ready to go national and even global if possible, so Shell set out to find something new and exciting.
In the late 80s, the Vision Television Network was starting up here in Toronto and was looking for programmers and people who could develop programming. And so I ended up coming to Toronto and worked on a show which was kind of like a spiritual or ethical affairs magazine type show, which aired once a week and aired nationally, aired from coast to coast. And I got to be the producer of that. I produced it for 1 year, decided I wanted to be the director more than the producer. The woman who was my associate producer had a lot of experience as a producer and directing, and I decided,
And they try and see life as
why
how
don't you
they would
produce
like
this
to
show?
be.
I'll direct
More
it.
often than not, that's not.
Shell has always been conscious of his teaching skills, which he harnessed through his first job working as the media specialist for the community center by teaching his audience about the media they were being made subject to, which later led him to his first real job teaching at Humber College in the television and production techniques.
For me, the big payoff in teaching is to be able to establish a relationship with people who have the passion for this industry that I have, and have an opportunity not to pass on the torch. It's not like I'm, drifting off into the sunset and retiring, but to share the torch with people who have passion and are brilliant and talented and want to tell stories in an engaging and exciting way. For me to be able to be a part of that process and to share that is absolutely, contagious, wonderful. Any faculty person you talk to, ask them about why they love their teaching so much, and I think we've all got pretty much the same line. It's got to be something like that.
So what does Sheldon Reisler have planned for the future?
I'm really intrigued and enthralled with the multi-platform reality that we're in now. We are now in a place where the broadcaster that we used to know, like the CBCs and the CTVs and the ABCs and the PBSs of the world, are not the only name of the game anymore. They're not the only fish in the sea. They're not the broadcasters that they used to be. There's an emerging new dimension. There's a new group coming out, and they are you and me, the rest of us that are right now studying in broadcasting and film, and lots of others who aren't, who can tell stories, shoot them shoot them and edit them and post them on the web, and get thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of viewers. Well, guess what? The era of new broadcasting has come around, and so I'm really interested in that, and interested in how we can harness that, and how we can create a as Marshall McLuhan put it, a more vibrant global village